Hey, y'all. This is your girl, Tonetta from the Social Worker Coach podcast. And I want to say welcome to this Relaunch Series. This is part number one. There's going to be four of these. But like I said, I definitely want to welcome y'all to this new relaunch. And I'll tell y'all what's going on, that kind of thing. Why am I relaunching? I guess I put it that way, this Social Worker Coach podcast, even though this is episode 145. But I am definitely doing so. So like I said, definitely welcome. I want to make sure that I, of course, provide you all with, of course, like I said, why I'm back in this kind of capacity and what's next for this podcast. This is actually my first, it's one of the first episodes in 2025, because I know I was, like I said, thinking about trying something different this time. And like I said, that's why I'm back, of course. I kind of got away from, of course, sharing who I am, the real stories and that type of thing. It was just repurposing content on this podcast, which I know you can, of course, put other videos you've done, of course, on anything that you want to put. But like I said, that's not really why I started the podcast, and that's not really what I want to do to begin with. I wanted to share real stories about speaking your truth and in relationships, in life, and in love, and of course, empowerment and that kind of thing as well. And like I said, I definitely got away from that. Just like I said, just repurposing videos to me being lazy and that kind of thing, instead of just putting the effort towards what I actually wanted. So like I said, that's why I'm back. And that's why I'm relaunching this actual podcast, The Social Worker Coach. So like I said, that's why I'm relaunching this. And like I said, I started this podcast. I don't even know what year. Shoot. Oh, yes, I do. I started this podcast in the summer of 2022. It was right before we moved here down to Arizona. We left St. Louis, moved to Arizona. I want to say it was 2022, like middle year 2022. I started the podcast then. And like I said, my whole thing with starting this podcast was so I can share those stories, not just from me, but other people too, about, like I said, their lives, their relationships, and the issues, and how they were able to move forward and speaking their truth and those things, and helping them, of course, heal in that process as well. And like I said, definitely I got way far away from that. Why I stopped, like I said, I was just being lazy. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. There really wasn't a reason. Just repurposing content, just using the videos I did on Facebook and putting them on this podcast as an actual podcast episode, when I know doggone well that's not what I envisioned as a podcast episode. And usually you don't see that in podcast episodes anyway. But like I said, that's just me was being lazy at that time. I'm open, honest, and transparent. I would definitely say that, because I know that's what the issue was. But then I also know that there was, of course, different issues and I guess issues coming up for me as well, since the move and all that kind of stuff. I guess in the move itself as well. It was definitely the first time I'd ever left my hometown, St. Louis, Missouri, to actually move and live somewhere else different. And this was just 2.5 years ago. So it hadn't been that long ago. So like I said, that was definitely jarring and a situation in itself, I guess I put it that way. Of course, there was lots of fears and being scared of this and being scared of that and fearful of this and all this kind of stuff going on. I'm like, okay, I know other folks who have moved and stayed in places, and I mean, they're still living, nothing happened. So like I said, I had to wrap my brain around all those things because I hadn't lived anywhere. And like I said, of course, there was a lot of other things going on. I'll share with y'all at some other point, because I'll be on here for hours. But like I said, definitely I'll share more about that as time goes on during this Relaunch series, I'm pretty sure. But like I said, definitely those are some of the reasons why I stopped. But like I said, I just got in the mode of just doing what was easy, instead of taking my time to do what was actually meaningful and helpful to the people here. I guess I put it that way. I know I have more women who are watching, listening. So definitely, ladies, I'm talking to you on these, I guess, for these episodes. Just to let you, of course, I'm a woman too, so of course I'm going to be bringing those, I guess, as far as what's different this time. Like I said, I'm definitely going to be bringing those, more of my story too. So you all can know who I am, learn about who this Tonetta girl, this social worker coach is, and this kind of thing, who this woman is who's showing up in your feeds and on your podcast episodes and this kind of thing. Like I said, you're definitely going to find out more about who I am. Like I said, I'm definitely open, honest, and transparent, which I share that on other platforms. I didn't bring it to this podcast. And like I said, that was one thing that I know I messed up on, that I really wanted to bring, that I did not bring, and that's okay. Like I said, I call myself out with everything. So like I said, calling myself out, I have to hold myself accountable in order for me to move forward with different things too. That's what I do. You don't have to do it that way, but that's just what I do. I've always done that. But like I said, that's one thing that's going to be different this time. And I'm going to have more fun, of course, sharing things and not just, of course, being so stringent and strict on these are 3 things you can learn. Just like I said, just coming to have a conversation with y'all. Talk about my day or whatever it is, the lesson that I'm learning, your life, relationships, or mindset, empowerment, whatever it is. Because I know I wasn't having fun doing those past episodes. Some of them, a few of them I did. I can't say it was all of them, but some of them I did. But what I wanted to bring to this space was me, Tonetta. And like I said, my experiences, my lessons, because I know the things that I've learned, I've been through, I've had trauma through and all that kind of stuff, and I've healed from. I know those things aren't just for me to, of course, keep in my head, my body, my heart and soul. It's for me to share those things, of course, to the world, because I know there's other women out there, that women, and of course, I'm sure men as well, that these stories and that these lessons that I have can help. And I mean help by helping you, of course. If you're listening to something, it may spark. If you're listening to, I guess, like the message in one of the episodes, it could spark something that sets off a light bulb in your own head, I guess, towards your own transformation. It can help you transform in some kind of way. That's what I mean. And like I said, I'm looking forward to just having more fun on this podcast as well. Not just being everything has to be set in stone and so strict and this kind of thing. I know other videos I do on other platforms, they do kind of have to be like that. But on the podcast, I need to have fun on this podcast. And like I said, it just wasn't fun for me anymore either. So sometimes you'll see on there was months that I went without having an episode at all published. I don't know how long, probably about 5 or 6 months, I'm sure. In some periods maybe a little bit shorter than that. But like I said, definitely, I want to bring back the fun. I want to bring back Tonetta, and of course, guests on here as well. That's another thing, because I've always wanted to have guests on my podcast to, of course, share their stories. And of course, if they wanted me to coach them or that kind of thing while we're on here, that's fine as well. But like I said, sharing stories back and forth with somebody else on here. Whoever the guest will be, I haven't got to that point yet. I do have a list of different like different people that I want to bring on here, but still, I got way far away from that and all the other mess and that kind of thing. I lost track of what I was doing. So like I said, I definitely want to have guests here on this podcast. I don't have a specific date, but I will definitely let y'all know and keep y'all abreast on what's going on and when that is coming. Another thing that I want to do different, I've always, I don't know if y'all remember those, I forgot the name of the doggone column. There used to be like different newspapers. They'll have different like Q&A columns. People are like writing in their stories, and so you could talk about it, I guess, like in that week's news column or that kind of thing, and sharing, of course, like your expertise behind it or your lessons or your or some information to help others who are dealing with that, to help them. You are sharing that in that particular column as well. So what I wanted to do was, of course, to bring like a listener truth spotlight, and I'll give y'all more information on that a little bit later and in other episodes and that kind of thing, because it has not started yet thus far, but because I have to set it all up. But I want to have a spotlight where people who are listening may have questions that they want to send in about their life, their love, their relationship, or their they've lost themselves trying to figure out how they can speak their own truth. Like I said, I want folks to submit questions like that so I can, of course, answer them. And then, of course, I do, like I said, want to like I said, have guests on here that's going to be speaking their truth and sharing their stories. And like I said, that's definitely something that I want on this particular podcast. And I have not done that so far, but like I said, that will be done. I can tell you that very much so, it will be done. Even if it's my partner here in this house, it's going to be done. I'm sure that. So, but like, I guess if that's going to be the first guest, I have no idea. But like I said, definitely it's going to be done, because I know that's what I want on this podcast. It had gotten so dry and so mundane and doing the same things that I was doing on other platforms, but that shouldn't have been the case at all. Because I don't think that's how, I think I started off sharing like more of my story and that kind of thing. And then just got into the mode of just posting a random video that I did on Facebook or YouTube or something like that. And that's not what I wanted. So like I said, that's what's going to be different this time. And like I said, I definitely want to, like I said, have this podcast where there's, like I said, sharing more of myself and having fun with this. And like I said, I want it to be more unfiltered and unapologetic. Like I said, real talk on love and life, helping women navigate love, life, and self-worth. That's what I want this podcast to focus on. I know there's other podcasts for women or for specifically for men or whoever it is. And yes, I'm saying women, but I know there's men on here that's going to be listening as well. And you're definitely welcome to this space. Trust me. You don't have to lay in the way when, because I said it's for women. You can be here too, men. Just trust me. I have a lot of men that I chat with and on different platforms that ask questions as well. There's nothing wrong with that. And ladies, sometimes we need that, of course, those questions and somebody to, of course, call us. I don't think sometimes as well. Not just y'all, but me too. So they can, of course, definitely be here in this space. So just keep that in mind, ladies. While I said it's just for helping women navigate love, life, and self-worth, our men can, I'm sure, can learn something too. So with that, y'all, like I said, I definitely just wanted to do this this, like I said, this first series of this of this relaunch y'all. This relaunch series, this is number one. The relaunch series, this is part number one. Like I said, I definitely just want to do this. I want to let y'all know what was going on and where I had been and why there was just the same information you can find on YouTube on this podcast. And like I said, definitely, I just want to share why I'm back and what's next. Like I said, I definitely see this podcast going in a definitely different direction. Yes, I used to read books and that kind of thing on here as well, but I may do that at some point again. It just depends on what the book is. Of course, it's going to be copyright free, so I won't get sued or that kind of thing. But I will definitely let y'all know if I decide to do that again. But what I'm looking more forward to is, of course, is just sharing stories of those women, of course, starting with myself first, other women that I may know. And of course, like I said, sharing stories, how we spoke our truth and how we, of course, improved our life in some kind of way. Through love, life, like I said, the mindset, the empowerment, whichever one it was. We all have stories to share. I have a story to share, which I haven't shared much, but you guys are going to hear it, I'm sure. But like I said, definitely, we all have a story to share. Some folks, of course, have an issue or are scared to speak their truth about different things. I want to open up the, like I said, the room and the space for people to, I guess, for women to come and do that. I know how important that is. I've actually facilitate caregiver support groups. I have a lot of women in those groups as well. And those groups, of course, allow women and, of course, the men, I guess, caregivers to come into, of course, speak their truth about different things. And like I said, I want to have that kind of platform here as well, not just in my work, in the work as a social worker that I do. I want to bring her to this podcast as well. I'm not just a social worker. I'm a certified life and relationship coach as well. And of course, I'll tell you more about that and that kind of thing, the journey with that. I'll tell you more about that later on in some other episode, I'm sure. But like I said, definitely, I want you, like I said, just to let you all know why I'm back and what's next. I hope y'all enjoyed this podcast episode. Like I said, again, this is Tonetta, your social worker coach. And this is the podcast, the social worker coach. So like I said, wherever you listen to this podcast on, hopefully you'll go ahead and subscribe on that particular platform. And of course, come back and, like I said, re-listen to this and other episodes that I have moving forward. Like I said, there's going to be 4 parts of this series. This is my relaunch series. So you have a part today. You have 3 more to come after this. So like I said, definitely, I look forward to, of course, reconnecting with y'all again. Of course, being here on this platform. And of course, like I said, bringing the fun and bringing some healing along the way as well. So with that, take care, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next episode. If you have any comments or any suggestions for any episodes that you want to see, or if you want to be a guest on this podcast, make sure that you put that in the comments. There is a comment section where you can write that down there. So make sure that you let me know. So with that, y'all, I'll see y'all in the next episode. Peace out. Take care, y'all. Have a good one.